Hello, everyone. Marty Chinesky here, along with my buddy Ken Brown, and we are your host of Local Sports Wrap Up. Today's Monday, the 25th of November, 2024. Ken, how the heck are you? Cowboys won a game.
Yeah, he spoiled everything for some people, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nah, it was a good game.
I was playing on the old parlay game, and I was picking all the favorites in the morning games, except that game just
couldn't see how they could win it. Yeah.
No, and Houston either. Yeah. I mean, Houston should have won it.
They looked great on Monday night, and they come out late. But I'm just like in high school sports, I think professional sports, once you get into that division, and you're playing people that you see twice a year or you see every year, it's tougher, man. It's tough to call. You know, so.
And the Lions took over. Detroit took over Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Took over the city. They were laughing on the fan today about how they were in St. Elmo's down there in Indianapolis, and it was nothing but Lions fans.
No, that makes sense.
Having a blast.
Yeah, and it's a 5.5-hour ride or something. So
it's
pretty simple.
Not that hard to get to. That Chicago game in a couple of weeks, none of the Bears fans are going to want to go. All the people that live out in Rockport, all that, they're not going to that game. Yeah. They're going to sell their tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Lions look terrific, man. Right about now, it's just crazy here in Detroit. Yeah.
So as we talk football, we had two local teams that were making it to the final four in their divisions. And, actually, we have a few more local teams than two. But unfortunately, Flat Rock took it on the chin. Number 2, Notre Dame. Well, let's start with Detroit Cass Tech. Detroit Cass Tech took care of Detroit Catholic Central, and if you are not keeping score, Detroit Catholic Central took care of Belleville, the basically number 1 team in the downriver area for years.
Yeah.
And they took care of them, Cass Tech and Catholic Central, and then Cass Tech went at Troy Athens and beat them 17-14, took care of Catholic Central.
Yeah. Game ended on a blocked field goal that would have tied it.
Wow.
So that was good that Detroit got through the gaps and blocked it.
And so with Detroit Cass Tech now, it's going to take on Hudsonville, and Hudsonville is they're the favorite, I have to say. They had an 80-point thing where Cass Tech was sitting at 64. So as the points go for the bracketing,
rankings.
Rankings.
Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate the left tackle for Cass Tech. He's a man amongst boys. I think they're going to run left, coach. And,
is that right?
Yeah, but they do have a freshman quarterback, so obviously things can happen, in big games. We'll see.
Yeah, that's why they play it.
That's right.
The Orchard State St. Mary's, the team that took care of Gibraltar Carlson, they ended up winning, and they're going to take on Byron Center at Ford Field. We just want to mention that because if Orchard Lake St. Mary's wins the state title, Carlson can say they lost to the eventual state champ.
Yeah.
It's always nice.
And I think a fun thing, since we're talking Detroit football, Barry Sanders' son plays for Birmingham Groves.
Oh, no
He's
kidding.
running back there, so I'm sure that that's a little ditty for him. Yeah, they lost 28-27.
Okay, and then you got another local team, Detroit Martin Luther King. They're going to take on Zeeland West, and I'm going to say that neither one. This is a toss-up. This is a toss-up with King and because they're both 65 points and Zeeland West had 67. So rankings-wise, this is a toss-up.
And Zeeland West is a tough school. They're somewhere going west of here, probably between Chelsea or something. But I do recall them coming to Martin Luther King a few years ago and playing, and they weren't scared. And they were playing at Martin Luther King's house. So they're going to be a tough out, that's for sure.
And in Division 5, our Flat Rock finally their bubble burst a little bit. They took it on the chin from Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. The final in that game was 49-7, and it's the number 2 ranked Irish, as they call them. They rolled to a 49-7 win. They're earning their program's first ever championship game appearance.
Yeah. Coach Fox said that his kids played a complete game, obviously by the score 49-7. But going into it, Flat Rock has nothing to be ashamed of, right? They played a great season. I think they ended it at 10-2. They downriver wise, they go the furthest out of any. Well, that's not true. There's one other team that went.
Yes,
It
we'll
has
get
done
to that
better.
in a minute.
But Flat Rock has nothing to be ashamed of. They did a good job this year.
And you know, they both teams started with punts, and then the other Irish, the Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, which we'll call the Irish, they scored on consecutive drives.
Sure.
A couple of turnovers from Flat Rock, and Flat Rock always goes for it on fourth down, and they turned the ball over a couple of times with the short field. This game was literally 42-7 at the half.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think that they said that the first 3 turnovers, like you said, turnover on downs, ended with 3 touchdown passes to a Stover kid, the tight end. So he was just hitting the tight end right after the turnover, boop, boop, boop. Next thing you know, it's 42-7 at the half.
And then they got a 4-score lead. It was a 94-yard scamper from the kid named Collins, you know. And the shutout ended. Flat Rock Judge hit Adam Slazy, raced 80 yards down the sideline. Yeah. So, I mean, they had almost 300 yards of offense, Flat Rock did. And yet.
So they were able to move the ball, but then they just had some breakdowns when it was important. I thought that the coach for Flat Rock said a huge thing. He said that the senior quarterback had to work throughout the week to learn to do his own audibles because of the blitz packages that the school, the Notre Dame Prep was going to have. So he said he did that good, that they prepped well for it, but it kind of just fell off. You know, that 94-yarder was actually an interception pick 6 or something.
Oh, no kidding.
From the Juno is the senior quarterback from Flat Rock.
So they were, 300 yards of total offense. And Judge, the quarterback, 227 passing yards, 22 for 34.
Yeah, it's not a bad
They move the
game,
ball, but like you say, they go for it on fourth down all the time.
Yeah.
And like I said, 42-7 at the half. Then you get the running clock. So only one more score after that.
Yeah.
And but meanwhile, Notre Dame Prep, they're going to take on Frankenmuth.
Okay.
Frankenmuth with 67 and Notre Dame, Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, where the heck are they? 61. It's another toss-up. Yeah. So none of the number 1 seeds got out of Division 5.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Those kids from Frankenmuth are probably eating pretty good chicken up there, and they're coming. There are going to be some big fellas coming in here, right?
And that's why they play the game. So our other good local team, Gabriel Richard, they played a team named Decatur and took care of Decatur 36-30. And that game, Richard got out to a blistering start.
Yeah, even if you lay it down, both teams were averaging like 35 points coming into the game. I think Richard had only given up like 14 points, and they hadn't lost, average of 14 points, and they hadn't lost since they changed the name of the field. Yeah, so we're still.
One way to look at it.
They're still riding high on that.
Yeah, and then they played it Saturday, and it was 22 answered points from Richard. They had a 30-8 halftime lead.
Yeah.
But that was it for a while.
Yeah. 30-8, and then they almost let it go. I'm trying to think. They gave up, if it was 36-30, they gave up 22-6. They lost the rest of the game 22-6, right?
Yeah.
But they held on when it counted. The 6th-rated Pioneers march on after beating Decatur, the 8th-rated team. For their troubles, who do they get to play?
They're going to play Beale City. One little thing, they're 10-1, and that's the first time they've collected double-digit victories in a single season. So Richard now sets its sights on Detroit Ford Field, and the schedule for them, unfortunately, or fortunately, we were talking about this, 9:30 a.m. Friday morning. They get the game after that belly full of turkey.
Yeah.
They're going to get Beale City hung on for a 17-16 game over Fowler. Beale City has not been scoring a lot of points, 21 and 14 and 17. Richard, on the other hand, is scoring a bunch of points. So this is going to be an interesting matchup. They started off Friday morning, Richard and Bay City, and then at 12:30, you'll get Goodrich for Division 4. You'll get Goodrich versus Niles, which we have no. Then after that, at 4 o'clock, Division 6, Jackson Lumen Christi and Lansing Catholic, and then the final game on Friday, Byron Centered versus Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Who, if Orchard Lake St. Mary's wins, Carlson could say they lost to the state champs.
That's right.
That is correct.
No, that's a busy schedule for Friday, and then it'll run into Saturday where the 9:30 game is Monroe St. Mary's Catholic Central versus Millington.
Couple of undefeated teams there.
Yeah. Monroe's 13-0 and Millington's 12-0.
Nice.
The 12:30 game we talked about, that's going to be Zeeland West against Martin Luther King. I guess Martin Luther King would be somewhat of a home favorite. I mean,
that is
a home
tough.
Team anyway.
You know, Zeeland's going to be well represented.
Yeah, they're going to travel well.
Yeah, they are.
And then we got Frankenmuth versus Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. Frankenmuth's undefeated at 13-0. Pontiac Notre Dame Prep's averaging 35, coming in off a big win. So
yeah,
we'll see what's going on with that one. And then you got the Division I game, 7 o'clock.
Prime time.
Yeah, right on time for Fox 1. They usually show it, right?
Oh, yeah, all day long.
Yeah, Hudsonville versus Cass Technical High School.
If I'm around the house, I'll give them a peek. I will say one thing about Notre Dame Prep that took care of Flat Rock. They don't huddle. They get the ball and go, and the coach was complaining they weren't moving fast enough for him.
Yeah.
He scored 42 points in the first half, but he's like, we haven't played a perfect game yet. It'd be nice if we could get a little quicker.
No, I think that is great. It seems like a Chip Kelly type offense where they're just trying to get as many plays as possible in, keeping you off guard. They're going to play the battle of who's in shape, right?
Yeah, so we'll do that because they're going to run. We'll see how those all play out. We'll obviously talk to you about them a little bit next week. Want to get to, we already covered that, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we got ice hockey starting. It's the fall season, and we got ice hockey, girls and boys basketball. We got bowling starting. So on ice hockey, our local Roosevelt Bears have a 1-2 record at the moment. They lost to Ann Arbor Pioneer 7-5, and then they beat Dearborn Divine Child, who's generally solid at the Taylor Sportsplex. An interesting little factoid, they've scored 5 goals or more in 2 of their 3 games. And last year, they were held to 2 goals or fewer in 17 of their 26 games. They have a bigger bench. I talked to the AD about this, and they, last year we talked about having 9 or 10, and they were all just, Iron Men.
Yeah.
They had to skate. Well, they got a full bench. They got 3 goalies. They've got a bunch of sophomores. But Eli Harrell, Magic Man the other night, Divine Child scored the first goal of the game. And then Mr. Harrell, he rolled off 5 straight, all by himself, which is, again, being in the right place at the right time. But in the loss to the first game, Ann Arbor Pioneer, he had a goal and 2 assists. So he's got a nose for the puck.
He's going to be around it. Yeah.
One can only hope.
And he's only a sophomore.
Correct. They only had 19 shots, the Bears, but the kid was in the right spot. He scored 1 on a 5-on-3 power play. Again, I like the sophomores playing tough. He evened the game up late in the first period. Then he scored 3 times in the second. Not bad. And Roosevelt had 6 different players, 5 that are underclassmen who record at least 1 assist.
Okay.
So not a bad gig there. And I'll say this: they took on. Then they went to November 23rd, which is Saturday. Yeah. They lost to Grosville 7-3. So they're 1-2 on the season. But they're scoring goals. You know, if you look at it, it's 13 goals in 3 games.
Yeah.
Which,
I think that, like you said, let's give some of those other sophomores some credit. Looks like we're going to have a good team for a few years. Trio of sophomores, like Coach mentioned, had assists. That included Cameron Rowe, Joe Ogden, and Ethan Ivety. So they were passing the ball to Harrell, and he was score. So that's good.
oh, and Cameron Rowe in the season opener, he had a hat trick. So when they lost 7-5 in the season opener,
So
he had a hat trick. So there you go.
Yeah.
For scoring goals. And goaltender Evan Kelly kept DC in check. 36 of 38 he stopped. So he's big boy in the way.
Yeah, that's
Put your
good.
biggest kid in the net. No, that's not how it works.
That's one way to think of it.
That's how they do it when they're little. When they're little 8-year-olds are in there. You got the big kid blocking the pucks.
Yeah, they get to get shot at for free. That's
So
good.
what happens when your team's losing 5-2 and the same guy's scoring all the goals?
Man, I don't
Third
see how
period.
he's not playing it.
Third period got a little chippy.
I bet.
Yeah, it says here there were 16 penalties, where like 10 of them were in the third period alone.
And I bet you that Mr. Harrell was getting some of that penalty abuse.
Could be.
He was hot. Yeah, he was on fire.
And the Bears, they're going to take on the. They're going to see Divine Child the next weekend. They're going to see them again on the 29th in the Allen Park tournament. But their next game is tomorrow night, which is Tuesday, the 26th, and they will take on Brownstown Woodhaven.
Okay.
And then on the 27th, they'll be at Kennedy taking on Woodhaven. Interesting. At Woodhaven, Kennedy. Oh, well, that must be Brownstown.
Yeah.
Or
You know that in hockey they do some of those combination
oh
teams.
yeah, that's right. Because with the one team that's combined is Cabrini and Riverview, I believe, which is, we always talk how odd the Catholic school and the public school are combined to coach.
And I think that Dearborn, not Divine Child, but there's like another Dearborn team with Etzel Ford and some other groups. I got
The three high schools, I think, are Dearborn United.
Yeah, Dearborn United.
Yeah.
I got a little cousin playing on that team, so I'm gonna go to a hockey game this year.
You are?
Yeah.
I'll go sit with you.
All right.
What the heck? As the schedule moves on, I mean, we won't get too far ahead, but after they play that tournament on the 13th, they're going to start playing games. Mona Shores, the 14th, Grand Rapids Catholic Central. Then you get into January. But the Bears have a pretty full schedule coming down the line there. But you can also learn to skate. Check into the act. I mean, if you got little guys, you know, they do. I used to teach that, the I program. You know, we get out on the ice, and it's fun when you got a little guy, and if you have any knowledge of hockey, you know, obviously I had to sign up for it and all, but you just get them all out there moving.
Yeah.
Get them all out there moving. You teach them how to skate with the puck. You teach them how to without pucks. You know, you get them out there moving. The I programs are so much fun because all the kids are only like yay big.
Yeah.
You know. You get tie their skates till they're about 8, then you make them do it themselves.
It's punishment.
And then they can't get them tight anyway, so it's a lot of fun.
No, yeah, get your kid out there. They're starting that at the Yak. Registration deadline is December the 20th. Sessions, looks like the 6 class sessions. Space is limited. Register today.
Yeah, absolutely. And basketball, high school basketball starting up. The boys start tomorrow.
Wow.
They're playing a non-league game. Who are they playing? They're playing Grosville. Grosville tomorrow. I'm going to say I don't know where, but then their season kicks off right after the holiday.
And on the 3rd, they're going to play Gibraltar Carlson. And then it'll be the 5th, they're going to play Allen Park. And then on the 10th, they're going to play Southgate. So the boys are up and running. The grapplers start this time, too. It's wrestling season as well.
Oh, it's wrestling season. Oh, there's the sport I missed. I didn't even think about wrestling.
What about your sport? How
Bowling?
you guys looking? Yeah.
Well, we're still on the summer hangover.
I got you.
Because not a lot of my girls bowled in the summer or in the fall. But I had 18 girls come out, which is a record in all the years I've been doing this, and I had to cut 4. And I'm going to tell you right now, cutting a young kid stinks. Especially when, like, they may not have known anything about bowling. And I had one girl that bowled last year, but couldn't knock down enough pins because I had to do it by merit. And I kept track of all the scores, and unfortunately she was on the low end, and yet she had bowled last year on the JV. That's kind of stuff hurts, man. It pains me to cut anybody. I just told them both to bowl, all 4 girls, to just keep bowling, as much as you can. Do the things that I taught you to do, and come back next season and give it another shot. Yeah. Or even join a Saturday morning league, because they have them. There's one at Score Lanes, and there's one at 10 Pins of Trenton, where when the high school season starts, that has to die down. But if you're in it, you'll still get the bowl because you're not on the high school team. And that's every Saturday, And they got coaches that'll help teach you. They got a pro shop, get you equipment. I told them all to do that. I says, come back next year and let's do this again. Because I don't know how many will try out next year, but 18 was, I can't keep 18. I can't coach 18. They'd never get the ball on JV because you can only bowl 5 at a time.
Right.
And varsity.
So you kept 14.
Yeah, 7 and 7.
Yeah.
Because you could have 7 at the varsity and you can have 7 on the JV, and so that's what I did. Now there'll be girls bouncing back and forth. I got a core of like 4 that ain't going nowhere, but the other ones, they need to knock down the most pins. I mean, bowling is all about scoring.
Yeah. Like
golf, your better lower scorers are going to make the team.
Yeah. It seems like development, just like you said, going on those Saturdays, picking up maybe some after practice tips, things of that nature. But they also got to want it, It's not what you do when you're with me. It's what you do when you're by yourself that counts the most.
Boy, that's a profound statement that I will use. I will use that statement because that truer words were never spoken. You better have some passion. Yeah. These kids that can fill the hoop, and these kids that can, throw the ball and like pitching, hitting. They don't just drop out of the carriage there and they're doing it. They worked hard. I remember one little kid when we were playing hockey, and every time he was in the rink, he had a tennis ball and he was banging it off the wall. Even before we were practicing, this is a little guy, and he went on to be really good by high school. He was a good skater and good stick handler and all that stuff. Where some of the other kids that didn't do those kind of things fought the puck a little bit, and because this kid had passion. He had passion for hockey, and I had passion for bowling when I was growing up, and some of my kids have that passion. The boys, you really see it. The boys want to score. They want to. It's easy to teach the boys like the competitive nature of the game. They want to win, but sometimes on the girls' side, it's that kill instinct just isn't there, They want to win, but I just don't see it sometimes that they're like, how mad they would get when they miss. It's just like, oh, hold on.
Make it next time.
Can't get too high and too low. It's like any sport. You got to stay even, but I'm working on it. I'm becoming a better coach, so I'm working on it. We'll see what happens.
I think in the long run, even for programs like within the YAC, if there was something that they could do to where you could hand off those 4 kids to YAC Arena, and then they would have to create a bowling situation, extra bowling situation. And that goes for almost any sport that you could be cut at. Because I think that, like you said, the important part is that they were brave enough to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, now that they've been cut, you don't want to throw them away. How can you get better? I want to help you get better, but I don't have the time to help you because I got so many kids. But if there was a program I could send you to, that would be beautiful.
And I told him to go to Trenton. I say, you bowl a couple of games on Saturday. You got Brandon drilling bowling balls over there. Get a bowling ball, something that fits. and he's got enough used stuff. We give out him all our used stuff. I just brought, I think last Thursday, I took him eight different bowling balls, from 14 pounds to 15 pounds to 13 pounds. And I just tell him, give them to whoever needs them. Because thank goodness I have some access to that. I have people that give me their stuff. And yeah, it's great. So yeah, that was the hardest thing I've done as a coach, is cut somebody. Yeah. And it's no fun.
No. Because they're kids.
Oh,
I mean, even though it's a competitive deal, playing Division One.
They were
bowling,
upset.
so.
They were upset, without
Sure.
a doubt.
And good.
Parents were upset too. You know.
But I think that's also the start. Like your kid needs to get better, and it's what they're doing when they're alone. I'm telling my daughter all the time.
You could bowl on your basement floor with plastic pins and a softball, if you took the cover off so it didn't bounce around, or any kind of plastic ball, and just the reps of rolling it in that direction, the right direction, would help 100%.
Get out of here.
Oh, just think about it. If you were rolling in your basement floor with some pins, even if it wasn't pins, if you put a target down there and just rolled it and kept doing it, when you got to the bowling lane, it would help.
Okay.
One more thing we didn't mention, girls basketball is going to start the 3rd. Bowling's starting the 3rd. We got a big match. I don't even know who we play the first day.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think it's Southgate, but I could be wrong.
Sounds like a dub.
Yeah, well, we're going to shoot for those. League champs all the way. December 3rd for the girls, December 6th, December 10th, December 12th. Find out girls are taking off and the boys are taking off tomorrow. And then here we go.
Yeah.
And they do play. Oh, no, they don't play the same team on the same day. Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought they travel like opposites, boys and girls, on the same day. Anyway, we're running out of time.
Yeah, me too.
With a lot to talk about. Big football games this weekend. Watch Fox Sports, or Bally's. It's Bally's now. Watch Bally's. You want to catch the games. Watch us on YouTube. You want to catch us. And Ken, go Lions. Got to eat some turkey. Best part of the whole thing. Sit around, watch football, and eat. Ken Brown, Marty Chinesky. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks for watching. Go Lions, and hi, Mom.